I'm blinded by the lights. I love The Weeknd so much.
You're gonna get us copyright strikes.
Maybe I should change the lyrics. Ooh, I'm deafened by the house. Welcome to the Blackwolves Podcast, everyone. I'm Jeremy Van Suarez.
I'm Jacob Wade.
And I am Logan Riley Bruner.
And if you couldn't tell by the intro, I really like The Weeknd. And if you were maybe living under an American rock this past weekend, you might have missed the Super Bowl.
I know I did.
I'm not really a sports fan, but I think I've just like come to the point where I'm just like, yep, Super Bowl's on. I mean, what else am I gonna do on this February Sunday night? And overall, the game was kind of boring.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
The Buccaneers took the lead early on, and they stuck with it.
They held on to it.
The Super Bowl was followed by debates on who's the greatest athlete of all time. It is Serena Williams.
That is correct.
And The Weeknd was our halftime performer.
Woo-woo.
What did we all see The Weeknd perform? At least that part?
I didn't see the whole performance. I've only seen clips on Instagram and Twitter.
Have you been seeing the memes?
I've seen some memes.
I feel like they're unavoidable.
The mirror room. I've seen a lot of memes from that section.
That's really the meme.
Yeah. I thought The Weeknd did great. He sounded great. I've seen The Weeknd 3 or 4 times in concert. And he always sounds like he does on the record, but it's never like he's like clearly not like lip syncing. Like, this man has talent.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was I felt like maybe The Weeknd was a little out of his element. He's not really the type of performer to put on like a song and dance type of vibe, although I guess that's more of the vibe he was going for this album, this era. But I mean, the chorus was just absolutely angelic. The set design, especially that mirrored room that's become the latest meme, was beautiful. And when he finally went onto the field, because his stage was all the way up in the stands for some reason, when he finally went onto the field and the field was full of like Weeknd lookalikes with their plastic surgery masks on, it like gave me chills just to see that happen.
Their plastic surgery masks on, which were totally perfect in covering the fact that they all had to wear actual masks.
Yep.
I thought it was really creative. I think while he may not be like a song and dance man, he's definitely a high production value performer.
Oh yeah.
He may have been out of his element. He may have just been nervous, just like all that energy. Like, this must be a lot of pressure to perform at the Super Bowl, first of all. Second of all, this year, out of all years, everything's so different, like it's like a new standards being set.
Yeah, I was just watching a gaming podcast before this, because this isn't a topic that we wrote down, but E3, the gaming expo, is coming back this year as an online only event, but they're still charging like 5 figures or more for companies to be a part of their whole expo. And the debate, I mean, 5 figures aside, the debate is like, do gaming companies even need an E3 anymore now that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony have all kind of been like, hey, it's a random Thursday morning and we're gonna announce 3 games. Like, do we really, like, it's like you said, Jacob, like, we're in 2021, transitioning into post-pandemic. Standards are just going to be so different moving forward.
Yeah, just to go back to The Weeknd for a second, the performance that I would most relate it to was probably Bruno Mars from a couple of years ago. Just in terms of like element and kind of like feeling of it. But I feel where Bruno Mars had a lot of success was the fact that he had the energy from a crowd. I think the fact that The Weeknd had to walk out into an enormous amount of pressure without having really any audience energy, because there were people at the Super Bowl, but compared to like how many people are normally there, you're performing for 2,000 people in a stadium. It's like, it sucks all the life out of it, and so you're basically just performing for a camera that takes a lot of that like audience performer interaction out.
Yeah.
You lose a lot of that. Like he came out strong, but I felt within those first 2 minutes that he was like, and I'm not getting anything from anyone, so I'm just kind of here on my own. And I was like, oh, dude, you're suffering from the fact that you don't have a crowd, which
Yeah.
is not his fault at all. I think he did great, but
Yeah.
he would have benefited from being able to have an actual crowd around him. And I think he did benefit when he stepped out on the field and had all those dancers around him to be like, oh my gosh, okay, energy. I can siphon this. Okay.
You know, it's funny. You said Bruno Mars, and I completely forgot that Bruno Mars was the headliner of that year, because that was also the year that Beyonce came out and and just kind of blew everyone away that year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Blackwolves halftime report. Do we have we kind of just dove right into our topics without getting a few housekeeping things out of the way. Do we have anything to announce, to promo? Oh, well, I guess I do. I was on Master Dater's stream yesterday night.
That is Daters with a D?
Yes, Master Daters, because the folks over at Master Daters, collective member Soren Correa, and fellow streamer Josh, they play dating sims, and they try to get those kisses. Lucky for me, I last night stream was a total success in terms of kisses, as opposed to the game before that, in which the two endings they got were hook up with weird teacher or die.
Yeah.
Last night was a total opposite side of the coin, in which I helped them get into a nice orc foursome.
Yeah, it was
so complete success.
I got to tune in right at the end, right as the game, for whatever reason, got super dark for a minute.
That's spooky. I think
but
there was time travel involved. Like, we don't even know.
It was fun to watch you guys play that, and I'm excited for whatever they're playing next week. They stream on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30. You might see some more collective members being guests over the course of the next couple weeks.
And they're absolutely hilarious too.
Yeah, they're great. The two of them are really, really funny together, and to watch them play dating sims is enjoyable, to say the least.
Yep. Moving on from that, this week it's just a lot of movie news.
Wait.
Movie news.
Before we get to movie news, as many people have noticed, the podcast is now moved to Tuesday. I'm finishing up housekeeping. The podcast.
Welcome to Tuesdays, everyone.
And yesterday we dropped a brand new interview with collective member Jackson Stenberg. We have all known Jackson since high school. He was actually a part of the first guest star that I ever did in my professional career on a little show called Mozart and the Jungle. The two of us got to act together. He went to college with us. He's a really incredible young artist, really well spoken. He's really fighting for some good causes. To speak on something that he spoke on in his interview, go check out Students Against Child Marriage. It is an organization that he very much wanted us to support, and I'm totally behind him wanting to do that. So we want to promote it right here, just as a second option to send you that way. In addition, we're still working on some secret projects. Hopefully some news about those will be coming out very soon. Maybe when this podcast premieres, some info will have come out. You just got to keep your ears open and keep on the Blackwolves Instagram and the Blackwolves Facebook and the Blackwolves YouTube. We're everywhere. We're just all over. We're doing all the things. So we're very excited about all that. And I think that's it for housekeeping.
A lot of movie news this week.
Yes, there is. Instead of hitting one topic this week, we're gonna hit like 9.
Yeah. Well. First thing on the list, the sun is setting on a beautiful animation studio. Disney acquired Fox, 21st Century Fox last year, and we are now seeing the repercussions of that. The animation studio Blue Sky has been closed. They are responsible for the Ice Age franchise, most recently Spies in Disguise, the Rio series, and Robots. I feel a weird sort of way about this decision. Not that it just feels ever closer to like a Disney franchise, like a Disney production monopoly. Even though Blue Sky is owned by Disney, it would have been Disney no matter what. But just to have another contender out there in the field is always nice. And to know that this studio is closing makes me kind of sad.
Yeah, Robots was definitely one of my faves when I was a kid. I remember owning the video game, which is a
Ooh.
weird thing to think about.
Throwback. What system was it on?
I think that was back in PlayStation 2. Really, really fun film. Something I really enjoyed. I didn't get to see Spies in Disguise. It didn't seem like the kind of thing that I would love.
I didn't see it either.
I saw it.
But Jeremy's right. It's sad to see studios closing, especially. We don't know what Disney's budget is like, but especially when it doesn't really feel like they had to. It more feels like just a decision to kind of streamline their animation department. So it's just Disney animation, and I'm not really interested in that. I want more people creating more art, not less people creating less art. Right. That doesn't seem like the right direction. And it's what I'm always worried about when Disney is said like, oh, they bought this new company. They did a great job with Lucasfilms because they completely expanded their productions, but it's when stuff like this happens, when small studios that create really kind of interesting new IPs get shut out in favor of sending money toward the big dogs. I think we need more access for smaller production companies, not less.
Yeah, and there's no word on Disney kind of reintegrating them into animation or whatnot. According to Deadline, Disney will just be working with the 450 Blue Sky employees to explore open positions at the other internal studios. So sending good vibes out to them, hoping those Blue Sky employees can find something better or anything at all, especially in this environment. Continuing on, like I said, all we got this week is movie news. This week, Zach,
little TV show news.
Oh yeah, it's just like HBO's production value at this point is just like movie quality TV shows. So I can't. Anyways, we'll get to that eventually because I definitely want to talk about that. Justice League. Did anyone see the first one?
I've seen clips. I heard about the Schneider cut, but did not watch it when it premiered.
Snyder Cut isn't out yet.
It's not. Oh dear.
In fact, the promo for it is still going on, as this past week, Zack Snyder released a new look for the Joker, specifically Jared Leto's Joker. He no longer has the multitude of face tats. He's weathered now. He looks like he's been around the block a few times. And it kind of feels the image itself was kind of this like blurred out picture of the Joker holding a Joker playing card close to the camera that was more in focus. But then a couple days later, a clearer picture of the Joker's face is going on. Logan looks very disappointed in this news. And it's just kind of like the smile, the eyeshadow, like his hairline looks a little bit higher and just the hair coming down. It looks more in lines with Heath Ledger's Joker. I feel like so far Justice League has been getting the most movie promo out of any movie this year. I didn't see the theatrical cut of Justice League. But you know what? I think I might just see the Snyder cut.
I'll check it out.
I don't want to watch a 4-hour movie.
So then watch it. Watch half of it. Watch half of it twice.
Yeah, I said 4 hours.
Watch half of it twice.
That's longer than any Lord of the Rings movie. That's for Justice League.
It's an extended cut. Yeah, I don't know if the release plan is to release like 4 1-hour chunks or just to release it as 1 4-hour movie.
I think it's gonna be a 2-parter.
I would hope it would be a 2-parter.
First half, second half.
Yeah. I mean, does it really make a difference if it's in parts? It's still going to be a 4-hour experience. Anyway.
At least with a 2-parter, you can do like a weekend thing where you do one movie one night, one movie the other night. If you're sitting down to a 4-hour Justice League movie,
you're a real DC fan.
Yeah, you're a real DC fan.
Or a Zack Snyder fan.
Right? Because I don't think I could sit through any 4-hour movie, let
No,
alone
I
a
still haven't
4-hour
watched The
DC.
Irishman.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see the short version. Why would I see the long one?
I don't know. I'm like I don't know. There's something about like knowing that because originally Zack Snyder was supposed to be the director of Justice League, but due to personal issues, he had to drop out, and Joss Whedon took over.
He directed like 3/4 of it.
He directed most of it, and then Joss Whedon came in and stepped in.
Who,
And then
after we finish talking about this version of the Justice League, we should probably talk a little bit about. Just speaking of Joss Whedon.
News relating to Joss Whedon.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, of course we're gonna get to that. I trust me. I have no intention of skipping over that.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
But to be honest, I fell asleep during Batman vs Superman. And I didn't watch Justice League. I didn't even watch Aquaman.
Oh.
But I don't know, something about a black and white superhero movie is just like appealing to me, and I think I'm maybe I'll give Batman versus Superman one more chance. Maybe the extended edition will make it any better, or I'll fall asleep quicker. I don't know. Either way, HBO Max is killing it, and I can't wait to watch Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, just in terms of Jared Leto as the Joker, I'm not optimistic. I wish I was. I really do. But I'm just there's nothing in me that I have been burned by Zack Snyder far too many times to go into this movie with anything less than I don't know if it's gonna be any good. We'll see. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding Justice League, which will lead into the Joss Whedon conversation in a minute. But putting that aside, I don't know how I feel about a director saying, this studio ruined my movie, so I'm going to make a 4-hour version of it the way that I originally wanted to make it. If it's good, then great. But I'm not sitting here with bated breath being like, I really hope the Justice League turns out good.
Yeah. Those sentiments are shared by me. Yeah, so I mean, Logan's hyped to talk about this Joss Whedon related news. Although it doesn't have anything specifically to do with Joss Whedon, it has to do with someone associated with him.
I'm not hype. I'm actually really sad. A lot of people who know me know that I was a huge Joss Whedon fan. I loved what he did with Avengers. I thought Buffy was a really fun show. I was really into his version of Much Ado About Nothing. I think he did some really great work. Late last year, Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg in the Justice League films, came out to discuss the fact that Joss Whedon was abusive, not a particularly good director, really did not make a safe work environment for him to be in. He has been very outspoken about DC in particular and their treatment of him while he's been on their films. And I fully support him in all of that. Following that has been a slew of accusations against Joss Whedon, particularly from the cast of Buffy from back in the day. People saying that he fat shamed actresses that were like 140 pounds, telling them they needed to lose weight. One actress in particular coming out and saying that when she got pregnant, Joss Whedon upped her hours and made her arrive to set earlier than he had been making her arrive to set before to punish her for getting pregnant, saying that he made a very unsafe work environment. Sarah Michelle Gellar has come out and said that she loves Buffy but no longer wishes her name to be associated with Joss Whedon.
Wow.
It's been a bad month, and it sucks because to have someone who I looked up to as a kid turn out to be really shitty is awful. And it just goes to show that there are a lot of people in this industry who have kind of slipped through the cracks and ended up in positions of power that probably shouldn't. Should we have caught onto this after his Wonder Woman script was released like 2 or 3 years ago? Probably. But we didn't. And now we're having to face the repercussions of that and the fact that he was allowed to helm some really high profile projects that he shouldn't have been allowed to helm. So it really does. It makes me really sad to find out that a lot of the things that I supported when I was young were headed by somebody that really didn't deserve to head them. And my thoughts and my good energy goes out to all the actresses and actors that have been impacted by his abusive environments. I hope that there are future situations where y'all are able to find good directors and good producers and people who bring your love of the arts back, because I've been in that position and it absolutely sucks.
It's tough. That's, it's the reckoning, um deserved reckoning, honestly. I think people like that should be held accountable for their actions. Um but this is the reckoning that we've kind of been dealing with over the last decade, and it's kind of thanks to stuff like Twitter and social media and just the general bravery of people to come out and speak against these high profile people, that we are able to hold these people rightly accountable for their actions. And the reckoning continues, and people must be held accountable. The news this week that actress Gina Carano, known for playing former Rebel Alliance soldier Cara Dune on The Mandalorian, the hit Disney Plus show, she's been let go because she's tweeted some problematic stuff over the last couple years, um,
including anti-mask uh, propaganda and
anti-mask propaganda, some alt-right
Election rigging.
propaganda, comparing the current plight of conservatives to Jewish people during the Holocaust, like just very untasteful things that people were calling out months ago. And I guess the comparison of conservatives to Jewish people is just what the last straw.
yeah, yeah, the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, I watching The Mandalorian am rooting for Gina, but I had no idea who she was off screen as a person. And that's the thing, you admire people on screen and you have no idea what they're actually like.
Yeah,
Hmm.
And it's we got out we another we got rid of a bad egg.
Yeah, that's
It's
that's that's another that's another thing that us as fans have been having to deal with, is you know having to learn again and again that just because they're nice in the show doesn't mean they're nice in real life.
yeah. I think there's been a lot of conversation specifically about Gina Carino and the conversation around cancel culture and like, well, where do we draw the line? Um, and I think there has to be a place in our industry where we are willing to say this is not like spouting crap and conspiracy theories and undermining your government and like attempting to promote bigotry are not okay. While I understand certain people's perspectives of being like, well, if we're going to cancel someone for making a statement like this, where's the line? It's like we have like if we
We ha-
continue to let stuff like this grow in our industry, it's going to destroy us from the inside,
Mhm.
and we can't allow that to happen. I fully support people's freedom of speech, but by the same token, uh, that's freedom of speech to protect you from the government. That's not freedom of speech to protect you from being an asshole. And if the people that work with you don't want to work with you anymore, then that's on you. That's not on anybody else. I think we're really seeing nowadays no one is irreplaceable. There is no one that
Mhm.
cannot be fired and replaced, um,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of a good thing. I think
Mhm.
there was a long time that certain actors and certain directors had so much power that they were like, well,
Thought they were untouchable.
yeah, I can do whatever I want and I can act however I want and talk to whoever I want, however I want, and I'm not going to get fired, so who cares? Um, and I'm glad that we're moving away from
Yeah. The taming of the ego, one may call it. So that's with this, as a result of this news, I think we can all safely assume that what is it, Rebels of the New Alliance, whatever the alliance based show, is on rocky territory now, because I believe Gina Carano's character was supposed to be the protagonist.
Listen, all I'm saying is her and Lucy Lawless look exactly the same. So just put Lucy Lawless in there. You don't even have to make an explanation. Say she got hurt in an X-Wing accident and her face needed to be reconstructed. We'll all go with it.
That's yeah, I'll go with it.
And Lucy Lawless is a better actress. So
shrug. The takes never stop on this show.
And they're hot.
Well, hopefully Lucy Lawless can really make this a great cast, and that's a thing that I'm a sucker for, a great cast. Can you feel the segue, guys? I feel it. Guys, The Last of Us is getting an HBO show.
It is.
Walking Dead out. Sorry, Logan's t-shirt. Walking Dead out. Oh, yeah, Last of Us is in.
Honor of it. Very excited.
And just yesterday we got confirmation for our two protagonists, our Joel and our Ellie. The first one to be confirmed was Ellie, who will be played by Bella Ramsey. You will probably recognize her as the young Lord Lyanna Mormont from Game of Thrones. She was in the later half of the series when everything was coming together in the North, and there were all these big burly men making decisions, and in comes this young powerful girl who's just like, I'm the boss, man. And she was immediately a fan favorite with her commanding energy. And now she's gonna be our Ellie. And I didn't think of her for Ellie. I feel like maybe I was thinking of people who are much older, maybe. But at the end of the day, Ellie is a teenager, as well as Bella Ramsey. I think I trust her. She's going to be able to do a great job in that role.
Yeah.
Very commanding presence. And the great thing about HBO's The Last of Us is that it's also reuniting some Game of Thrones alum. Pedro Pascal is going to be our Joel, and that makes me super excited. Pedro Pascal has just been on a roll, from Game of Thrones to Narcos to Kingsman to Mandalorian. Wonder Woman, who honestly was the best part of that movie, no cap.
So good.
And now he's going to be our protagonist, antagonist, anti-hero. I love them, and the fact that these two were in Game of Thrones together but never met each other because they were in totally different arcs, it's just a wonderful thing. I am excited more than ever for this video game television adaptation, something that we don't normally get as gamers or as television fans.
Yeah. Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, who are the original voice actors for Joel and Ellie, have both come out fully in support of the casting. They're both very excited about this new TV show. Troy Baker in particular talked about the fact that he knows a lot of the producers that are a part of this process. He says they're all really determined to bring this show to life in a really respectful way to the original source. We shall see if it is a direct adaptation or has a couple little changes, maybe change the story a little bit. But either way, I'm super excited for this particular TV show. I think HBO is going to do a great job. So we shall see.
Yeah, you're going to say
Well, that's the thing, is that I trust HBO, and I already trust like the source content of The Last of Us, right? So I think that this one's going to be good. However, when it comes to making films out of video games, I find that I'm not always pleased at the end. And I hope, well, this isn't a film, it's a series. So like, I believe that this will be really well done. However, there's one coming on the horizon that I'm not quite sure about.
A video game movie?
Yeah.
Is it Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
No.
But before we move on to that topic, my one worry for the Last of Us HBO show is that they don't overplay it. I think this should be a miniseries.
Oh yeah, please don't drag it out to be like 5
There's
seasons if it doesn't need
there's
to be.
there's no reason for you to make 5 seasons out of the first game or even 5 seasons out of the 2 games.
Please don't just make the next Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's
Please
not what we want.
please HBO just write a great story and then leave it at that. That's my hope. Add new stuff. That's fine if you want to add new stuff, but like, yeah, don't turn this into Fear the Last of Us or The Last of Us Beyond or what, or like Last of Us in Space. Like, I don't want any of that.
Listen, I would not mind a spin-off series. My problem will be if they take these particular characters and drag them out over the course of like 8 seasons. If they decide to do like The Last of Us with Joel and Ellie, and then we're going to take a couple of the characters that we introduced in that TV show and give them their own thing. Great, I'm down for that. I'm interested to see what they come up with. But if it ends up being like, oh yeah, you remember how the first game was like 12 hours long? Well, we're actually going to take all of that, and it was way longer than 12 hours, but we're going to take all of that and stretch it to like 5 seasons so that we can like really expand the drama. It's like I'm not interested.
No. Yeah, Jacob.
Now, is this going to television or is this going to HBO Max streaming?
I believe it's TV.
I believe it's TV as well.
Interesting.
As of right now, we have no confirmed date, even time frame for this
network television
for this production. All we know that it's in development. And yeah, Jacob, speaking of other video game adaptations in development, do you want to take this one away?
Sure. I'm no expert on this video game by any means, but I'm worried for this upcoming film for the Borderlands. It's going to be apparently it's great cast, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black.
Just announced today.
Yeah. And Eli Roth? Who's Eli Roth?
Director.
He's directing it.
He's directing it?
Yeah. Eli Roth is the director of...
He's done a lot.
Yeah. Hostel, The Green Inferno, Cabin Fever, Knock Knock. A lot of horror stuff.
Haven't seen any of them.
Inglorious. Oh, well, he had something to do with Inglorious Bastards.
He's an actor in it.
Okay.
It's back when he was acting.
Great movie.
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob. I have my thoughts on this.
It's just... Are we out of ideas for original films? I just don't like this recycling of old content, but it's not even that old, and it belongs in the video game, like, world. I don't know. It's just I'm tired of trying to do this and having everything be multimedia.
I think the problem that Borderlands faces way more than The Last of Us does is that most of Borderlands gameplay is shooting and walking around, and Last of Us has a much more of a focus on story.
Well, it's a linear
and how
game.
that ties into gameplay. That's usually the problem with video game adaptations. You take a game like Resident Evil, which is about the player being in the protagonist's shoes you watch a horror movie and you're like, don't go towards that door, but you're playing the video game and the only way to progress is going towards that door. So it gives you that sense of anxiety that you as the player have that agency to move forward. That's constantly the problem that we see with video games adaptation is it's impossible to translate that agency.
Yeah. Video games as a medium give control to the viewer. And so to take that control away in most circumstances does not help. In the case of The Last of Us, the game has an incredible story which a TV audience could connect with that doesn't necessarily want to sit down and play a video game. I totally understand that. The purpose of Borderlands as a game is to find the coolest weapons and kill the big boss. Like, there's not like, you don't play Borderlands because like, I'm so invested in the Borderlands story. The story of Borderlands is you are looking for treasure. That's it. That is the whole plot.
And you meet zany characters along the way.
So to have that become a movie, it reminds me almost of like Prince of Persia when that became a movie of like, I don't know how you're going to do this, but I'm worried about how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, is the whole thing, if the whole thing just becomes like, oh, it's just about these characters and we're basing it off the story of Borderlands, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of set piece to set piece, one-liner, quirky one-liner, fire, run to the next set piece. Oh my gosh, we can't slow down because if we slow down, you'll see that this has no plot.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and I'm down for those kinds of movies. I'm down for action movies, but did it need to be a Borderlands movie? Couldn't you have just written a like post-apocalypse hunting for treasure movie? Borderlands just feels like it's trying to cash in on a franchise, and
Yeah.
I don't know that it's gonna succeed particularly well. I'm more than willing to suspend my my judgment until the movie actually comes out. The cast seems interesting.
Star-studded.
Yeah, I'm semi excited for a Borderlands movie because I feel like for a Borderlands movie, you don't need to write like the most complex plot for a Borderlands movie. Like, I think Borderlands would be a great summer blockbuster. You know, great cast, witty dialogue, cool action sequences, and crazy guns. That's all I want for my Borderlands movie. And if you can deliver on that with a plot that makes a shred of sense,
Great.
then you did it. I'm not expecting Borderlands to be, you know, critically acclaimed. I don't think anyone is really.
My concern with Borderlands is my concern with a lot of video game movies. Jack Black makes me feel a little better. But my concern with a lot of video game movies is actors that don't like video games signing on to them and then not respecting the source material and more being like, oh, well, we don't have to take this seriously because it's just a video game. It's like, I don't want to watch a movie where I can see you making fun of the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
Which I've kind of noticed with video game movies over the years is like, oh, you guys are just making fun of it.
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds, the Monster Hunter movie, like movies that come out that are very obviously like, oh, you didn't actually care about the source. You just signed on because it had a cult following and oh, this will be fun. I want you to actually like Henry Cavill with The Witcher, like Neil Druckmann with Last of Us. I want you to care. I want you to show me that you have like if I see a tweet from Jamie Lee Curtis that's like just played through Borderlands, I'll be happy. But if like I watch the movie and I'm like, you guys clearly have no idea what this story is, and you're just kind of like saying lines that seem witty, but if you know Borderlands don't actually make any sense, then I'm going to be disappointed, and I don't want that.
Whatever happened to the good old days when people made video games out of movies? You know?
Yeah, those adaptations were also hit or miss too.
Well, a lot of the early ones were good, and then the later ones became like, we don't really have to put the effort into this.
Yeah, I think video game adaptations have been slowly getting better since like early 2000s. Like Angry Birds wasn't getting crap reviews. It was getting good reviews for a kids movie. Logan, you saw Sonic the Hedgehog and you thought it was pretty enjoyable.
I thought it was cute.
Even though sorry.
I told you because and I'll say this. The two ways that I want to see a video game movie go are either completely stick to your source material and respect it, or do something completely different. Because Sonic the Hedgehog took the character and just did something really unique. It was like, Sonic, he's in the real world. He's got to deal with Eggman. Great. Okay, I've never seen this before. I can commit to this new story. Detective Pikachu was nothing like the Detective Pikachu video games. It was its own.
That movie was. I had a great time watching.
And that movie was fun. I don't want to see a Borderlands movie that is like, oh, I can plot out how what you took from the video game.
I don't want I don't want a dark and gritty Borderlands, because I feel like that's kind of what they did with Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is kind of like has a lot of tongue in cheek, a little absurdist aspects. And the Monster Hunter movie just kind of made it like straight dark action.
But the problem that I heard is that they advertised it as straight dark action, but it was actually like a quirky one-liner action comedy.
Yeah, I feel like Borderlands is going to be like Radiator Springs crossed over with like what's the word I'm looking for? Didn't freeze, just thinking.
That's what I thought.
Keep talking.
Wait, what's Radiator Springs?
It's the setting of the movie Cars.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, why does it sound so familiar?
Here's what I was gonna say. It's gonna be like Radiator Springs Jumanji.
Listen, especially with, like I said, especially with a game like Borderlands, if you can make this movie enjoyable and I can come out of it with a smile on my face, then you did your job and I won't regret theoretically paying the $8 or $12 because I saw this in a movie, because COVID's over by this point.
Absolutely. If you can make it original and fun, I'm down. If you try and make it a copy off the video games, I don't think a movie can do that properly. That's why I think The Last of Us has a really good chance. TV show, you have more time, you have more distance. You can turn an 100-hour game into a 10-hour TV show. It is very difficult to turn a 100-hour game into a 2-hour movie, especially with something like Borderlands, which is majority like you're running around and figuring out where things are and not like set piece to set piece.
See, and then it's interesting because then you have Tom Holland starring in the Uncharted movies. No release date on those either, but that's another Naughty Dog adaptation in which is a very like cinematic narrative driven game being adapted to a 2-hour movie, which I think might be more doable than something like Borderlands.
Yeah.
My thought on that is that the Uncharted movie is not based on any of the games. The Uncharted movie is the story of Nathan Drake before he's Nathan Drake.
Yeah,
so you can create an original story, and
they might take elements from Uncharted 4 because they do have like Nathan in his youth. There's always a bit of Nathan in his youth in each of the games, so they might take a little bit from the games. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I would be worried if they were like, we're gonna try and do Uncharted 1 as a movie. I'd be like, you're gonna miss 90% of that game.
Mm-hmm.
The cutscenes alone are longer than 2 hours.
That's true. Well, fingers. That's all we want. We just want good content. We just want good, genuine content by authentic and distinguished people who are nice to other people. That's all we want.
You just want decent human beings. Like, you don't even have to be nice. You just have to be like a decent person. The bar is so low. The bar is on the ground. Stop going under it.
Well, enough theorizing on what movies and what TV shows are going to be good. Let's talk about right now. What movies and TV shows are we enjoying, my fellow Black Wolves? Jacob, let's start with you.
Oh, I'm enjoying season 2 of Servant still. Every week I'll say it until the season's up, but it's
can you give me a mini review of how the season is? Because I'm kind of interested in Servant, but I'm also we live in an age where it's like, do I want to start another TV show? Like,
all right, I'll give you a little quick synopsis of season 1.
Spoilers.
No spoilers. The Turners, Sean and Dorothy. They live in Philadelphia.
Classic. It's always sunny there, I hear.
Yeah. They hire a live-in nanny. You might call her a servant.
No.
And this nanny brings darkness into the house. Maybe she doesn't, but like there's darkness in the house. M. Night Shyamalan is directing a lot of episodes, not every episode, but a lot. And yeah, he's an executive producer. The tone is so creepy, and these characters are exaggerated sometimes. There's a lot of thriller sense. It's like a psychological thriller. Logan, you've seen a couple episodes at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I talked about the stuff that I'm watching, I started season 1. I think it's worth watching. Each episode's a half hour. There's 8 episodes.
Only half hour. Now, see, that's right up my alley. I need more adult-centric, big-budget shows that are half an hour. Because I feel like for me, half an hour is the sweet spot for a television show.
Oh, yeah. And these episodes, at the end, they leave you going, next episode.
All right. So I might watch it now. I might. It's bumped up on my to watch list now.
To-do list, yeah.
It's a creepy one. Check it out on Apple TV Plus. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been watching aside from WandaVision.
WandaVision. Can't wait for the.
All right. What about you, Logan? You go next.
Sure. Like I said, season 1 of Servant. It's getting good. I'm 3 episodes in. Still watching Fantasy High. It's my like veg out on the couch, watch something really silly show. Uh, the gang at College Humor always finds a way to make me laugh. I've been playing Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'm gonna try and finish The Last of Us Part 2.
Please, I've been begging to. I've been wanting to talk to you about it for so long.
I know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've like caught really recently. WandaVision, which is a classic, really great show.
Modern classic.
Modern classic. But other than that, I've been consuming the second impeachment trial of President Donald J. Trump. That's been taking up a lot of my time. So I need some escapism in my life.
Damn, snap back to reality.
Oh, there goes gravity.
And Jeremy?
Gosh, I haven't been consuming anything new, particularly. I'm still playing through Persona 5 Royal.
Great game.
I rewatched Tenet yesterday. I don't know.
Do you mention it in every episode?
I think
yes.
I do. I'm so like I realized the other day, it's like, remember how in college, like my defining personality trait was Frank Ocean? Now I feel like it's Tenet, and I feel like I want to stop, but it's just it's like in my head.
It's all right. You'll get over it.
I know.
Stellar again.
Maybe. I feel like I watched. I started playing Destruction All Stars, which is the free PlayStation 5, PlayStation Plus game for the month. It's essentially a game where there's like 16 cars in an arena and you gotta crash into each other. There's a wonderfully diverse cast, ranging from people of color with amputated legs that are like Olympic runners to gay Canadians. It's just a wonderfully diverse cast, and there's a great reason behind it. They actually outsourced each of their characters to like 16 different art companies all around the world, to create this really wonderfully diverse character list. I implore you, even if you don't have a PS5, just like watch the trailers for this game and you'll just see how like fun and colorful all these characters are. It's like my feel good game right now, where I just get to like lay down on the bed and just crash into other racers. It's dumb fun, and I love it.
We love dumb fun.
Love it.
Yeah. That's really the newest thing I've been doing. And yeah. Be on the lookout for big announcements coming from Black Wolves. We are so excited.
They're coming.
We're so excited to announce what we've been working on for the last few months. I don't know. Does anyone want to leave us with some words of wisdom, positivity?
I'll leave with some real and then some hopefulness. Some real. Please watch the impeachment trial. I know it sucks. I know that it is awful to have to listen to, but the facts matter. That facts matter, and they need to be heard.
And it's important to know where your representatives stand.
Yes. Second, to just promote it one more time before we sign out, Students Against Child Marriage, very important organization. We very much support them. Go check them out. It's a new year. We're doing new fun things. We're all very excited to be sharing some new projects with you. We've got some amazing collective members working on some really, really cool stuff that we are just thrilled to be able to share. So thank you guys so much for supporting us so much over the last year. It's officially almost been 1 year since Black Wolves finished our Indiegogo and moved into our relaunch phase. So we're very excited about that.
Wow.
Thank you guys for all the support over the past year. It's been an absolute roller coaster of a ride. And we can't wait until we're actually able to be back in person creating new content. Maybe creating the podcast in an actual space. That would be awesome. And
I can touch you.
Hug somebody, tell somebody you love them, spread positivity and joy. Don't be a bigot.
Thanks for watching Blackwolves Podcast. I'm Jeremy Van Suarez.
I'm Jacob Wade.
And I am Logan Riley Bruner.
Go tell someone you love them. Thanks for watching.